Welcome back to SportsLine here on News Channel 5+. Jon Burton with you. Happy to be here on the Wednesday extravaganza. And, of course, the Titans on the practice field again on Wednesday, getting ready for an opponent that they don't really know who it's going to be yet. Of course, the super wild card weekend coming up this weekend in the NFL as the playoffs get set. Always an exciting time. And the Titans, as the top seed in the AFC, they get the bye week, and they'll get their first playoff game, not this weekend, but next weekend at home at Nissan Stadium. Day and time to be determined, television network to be determined, and of course opponent to be determined. We do know this: the Titans will play the lowest remaining seed in the AFC after this weekend's action. So plenty of work for the two-tone blue to do, though, as they look to keep up their conditioning and keep their game sharp, getting ready for the playoffs. And head coach Mike Vrabel promised to coach his team hard this week. Here's what Coach Vrabel had to say earlier today at St. Thomas Sports Park.
Mike, the day you were introduced, there was a lot of talk about creating and building the Titan way. With the success and steps taken over these last 3 seasons up to now, what's the big challenge, or how big is the challenge of taking those next steps to earn more championships?
Well, I think the longer that you do, it's about sustained, consistent success, and it's about trying to build a culture of winning and competitiveness, and then this is when you have to play your best. This is when it matters. There's no do-overs. There's no, hey, let's come back next week and get them. So that's the approach that we're taking. We're trying to use this time wisely and get everybody what they need and focus on the things that we know are important.
Picking up is a stake, and obviously you don't get any do-overs. How do you get guys, is there a challenge to get guys to play fast, not be too nervous out there where it kind of slows them down?
Yeah, I think that just making sure that, you're preparing, and we've played in a lot of big games, and, hopefully we can settle in whenever that is and go play. And that's what it comes down to. And I think that that's a great point. At the end of the day, we're going to give them a game plan in all 3 phases, and they have to go out and execute and make plays, and we have to give them answers, if things are showing up in the game that maybe the other team had done differently. And I think that we try to do that anyways. It's just that, you don't want to just start making things up, Jim, just because you're in the playoffs. It's not like, hey, let's start to try this. We have to, be who we are, do what we do, things that we believe in that we know are important.
You guys have had a lot of success coming off bye weeks and extended time off since you've been the coach here. How much of that is in your philosophy of coaching was built off of what you learned as a player coming off those type of situations?
Not really. I think you try to reference some things. I just try to focus on, how much time do we have? What do we need to do? What does each player need to do? Try to have a plan for each guy, based on health or based on how much they've played and based on things that I think that we need to do. And it changes. It changes based on when you have the bye or, this particular week coming after 17 games.
Your career is certainly stamped by what you did in the postseason. How much do you think guys' careers are defined to a degree by what they do in the postseason, quarterbacks specifically?
Well, quarterbacks, I think that's always been the argument. That's been something that, I think everybody wants to define themselves as a champion, and I think, certainly quarterbacks, you look at numbers, and I'm not into the debating, because that's not my job. But you have to be able to execute. You're going to have to be able to come up with clutch plays on both sides of the football. You're going to have to make a critical kick to help you win and move on in the playoffs.
Is that process, Jon, that you mentioned the other day, kind of challenging each guy with one thing to sort of improve on it and work on? How's that gone? Have you kind of done that more yourself, or you leave that to position coaches, or how does that?
It's a group effort, and I would like to, I had them ask the players, I had the players think about what their response to that question would be. Because I think any time that you're dealing with somebody else and there's something that you're asking them to do, you hope that what they had in mind was similar to what you had in mind, so that there's not a whole big disconnect, and then you have to spend a bunch of time trying to close the gap about what they perceive or what they think and about what the coaches think. So that it's going well. We'll continue to do that today. We'll do it Sunday. We'll continue, throughout our preparation. And but that was a group effort. That's my input with the coaches' input, and then them, sharing it with the players and then going out here today and trying to work on it.
You see some of those franchises that aren't successful, that structure organization-wise isn't there, like from top to bottom. But it's something that you, John Robinson, everyone seems to have. What has been kind of like the key to really just developing that consistency, that culture, to where everybody all the way down to the ball guys have the same mindset?
Well, I think first, Amy lets us, do our job, which I know that, I respect and I appreciate, I value. She allows John and I to do our jobs, here to manage the football team, the decisions, that we make. She has a lot of input, obviously, but she allows us to, do our jobs, which I can't thank her enough for. And then it's just about hiring guys and people that you trust, that believe in the same things that you believe in, that are willing to teach the players to give them ways to improve and give them things to help them. And I think the consistency, consistency is great when it works. And so we just, the big thing about this is you never want to sleep on this game. You never want to feel like you've arrived. You never want to feel like you have all the answers.
Mike, for you guys this week.
Tom Brady.
She's already asked one.
I've got one from somebody who's not here today.
That's okay, yeah, let her in and I'll...
Tom Brady has said that the challenge of the bye week is that it can be very humbling. You go from celebrating to suddenly trying to pick apart what you have to improve on and fix before the next game. For you, and you've kind of covered this a couple times, but what are the keys that you've been asking guys to address specifically this week?
It's going to be the same consistent messages. Focus on things that are important and not interesting. Focus on a few details. Focus on things that we believe and know win. Football games in this league, taking care of the football, turning it over, situationally being great on third down, being great in the red zone. There's a lot of great examples. Just go back and watch, a lot of these playoff games and how they're won and lost.
Coach, with you guys not knowing obviously who you're facing right now, is this week more so you prep today in terms of field stuff and then let them have a little time off, or how are you utilizing the week? Yeah,
they'll be off. I'm sure they'll be in here, guys with treatment, guys, the weight room will be open. Coaches will work a little bit. Coaches will have some time off as well, and then get back on Sunday. Just to be able to reset and kind of do some of the stuff that we're going to do today.
So when are they off starting?
Tomorrow, Thursday. What is today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
After playing a 17-game season, and the injuries that you had, do you feel like you're in a pretty good place physically? And do guys appear in a good place mentally, maybe after?
Yeah, I think mentally. I think mentally they're in a good place. I think that they're focused, they're locked in. But I also think that they are probably looking forward to a few days off. And we'll get them back here on Sunday. We'll focus on today, try to have a great day, get some conditioning in, some fundamentals. And physically, I don't think anybody feels great. I can't imagine that Jeff Simmons or Kevin Byard, these guys that played, Ben Jones, whether they're on the injury report or not, I can't imagine they feel great.
So what gets you through it? The prize at the end, I guess, is what?
Well, I think that's a great question for them. I don't want to speak for them, but I know that those particular players and a lot of other ones they're going to do whatever they have to do to be out there, to be ready to do whatever they have to do to help the team win.
A real quick comment on just Ryan, you getting AFC Offensive Player of the Week, kind of a cool thing for him, headed into the bye week too, but also to the playoffs to have something like that.
Yeah, it's good, very good performance, and a lot of stuff that he did helped us win, like just the ability to go down there in the red zone and execute, and the points at the end of half ended up being, critical. So keep building on it. and keep working on it. And I know that that's what Ryan will do. I'm sure he's, appreciative of the honor and the recognition, but he's going to be back out there today, trying to improve some of the things that he needs to work on.
Coach, you accomplished your regular season goal in terms of getting this bye. You guys put yourselves in the best position. I know you've talked and preached about how you're just getting started, a lot of work ahead, but did you allow yourself any time, maybe the last day or two, to reflect on, as a head coach, being able to accomplish that first goal?
No, as far as the reflection, no, it's just part of the process. And, there's only one team that was going to get the weekend off in the AFC and one in the NFC. It would have gone to, a quick turnaround and preparing and finding out who we play. And then, to be able to be in a position to have the week off, it was, hey, what's the best schedule, for our guys. So not a whole lot of time for reflection. Just want to try to continue, what we've done, which is play well down the stretch. Obviously well enough to win 3 games in a row and put ourselves in this position.
There you have it. Titans head coach Mike Vrabel talking to the media earlier this morning at St. Thomas Sports Park, laying out his plans for his team's bye week, a little time off, a little work on the field, and of course the Titans, as the rest of us are, waiting to find out who they will play. Not this weekend, but next weekend in the AFC Divisional Playoff game. We do know it'll be at Nissan Stadium. Right now we don't know who they will play, or what time kickoff will be, or what network you can watch it on. But we will have those answers by the end of this weekend. Of course, super wild card weekends. It's going to be crazy. 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and then of course the Monday night game, first ever Monday night playoff game coming up with the Rams and the Cardinals. So certainly a big weekend of football. Playoff football in the NFL coming up. Certainly an exciting time. All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, we're going to hear from the reigning AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Ryan Tannehill, coming off that 4-touchdown, no interception performance last Sunday in Houston as the Titans got the win over the Texans to lock up the home field and the first round bye. We hear from Ryan Tannehill after this on SportsLine here on News Channel 5 Plus.